All right, I would like to finish this up by 9 o'clock. So these people right here, you've got the last question right back there. So let's start right here, though.
Hi. I actually probably need to talk. I want to talk about the AB 109 people that are released. Is that based on the 1993 matrix that was talked about?
1993
There's a matrix that...
No, that 1993 matrix was a result of a court, in a court authorized or agreement between the County of Shasta and the Shasta County Sheriff at the time to avoid overcrowding in our jail. Prison realignment did not come into effect until 2011. So that was to avoid overcrowding, and we've had releases from our jail since 1993 and then have been increasing. However, those have increased and have been exacerbated since 2011 because of the impacts of 109 here in our community.
Well, we talked about nonviolent and non-sexual people, sex offenders being released, but I will tell you as a parent, I'm very, very upset. I basically was dealing with a sexual predator that was out, and he'd had a long criminal history. Come to find out, he had a parole record that ran forever. He actually ran into my minor son, and in the 7 minutes it took from the call I got to get there, he'd taken my son to a home, said it was his home to get a cell phone. He came back, and then I found out he was a parolee. I asked the police officer, RPD, to run it, get a test on him because the guy was crazy. Wouldn't test him, didn't do anything, guy didn't get arrested. Talked to the officer later. He said he would be upset if he had a minor son that this guy talked him into going to his home. We got a lot of sexual offenders out there. This guy was a lewd and lascivious acts with children under the age of 14. And me as a parent, I'm trying to do my job, and he was handcuffed, or he said when he ran the license, he didn't check for priors, even though I said he didn't want us to call you. He said he was on parole.
Okay, so the question is, are we taking the time or...
What the heck's going on? I mean, if I'm standing there and we've got people saying he's on parole, and all we're doing is running to see if he's got a license. He admitted he had no registration, it wasn't his car, and he had no insurance. He admitted he was on parole. The police officer did nothing but verify the license, and he was out and about running around.
Can you do me a favor? And Lieutenant Heston is standing right over there. I mean, that's something I got to look into. It's not something that I can, answer for you very quickly. So I apologize for that. But if you go over, he's that guy standing right over there with those conspicuous sunglasses on his head, and give him your information so that we can get the information from you and research it and give you an answer back.
The bottom line is no matter what it takes, I don't want this to happen to any other children at all.
I agree.
If I have to stand in front of you or anybody, I will, because this is where I, as a parent, I'm supposed to be there, and this guy was able to connive and get my child, who didn't ever know about an accident, to go to this house.
I understand, ma'am, and I'll look into it. I promise you that we will, and we'll get back to you. For a traffic accident, we run their traffic accident history. We run their driver's license.
That's it.
Usually it comes back in the computer with a warrant check if the officer runs it that way, but when it's traffic accidents, we check for their driver's license status and we grab their insurance information.
One of the issues too is this guy really knew it all. I mean, he already knew. I don't care. I'll just pay the fine. I'll get out. I don't care what happens to me. That's the attitude we've had, and he's had a long criminal history because, believe me, I've already had him checked out.
Okay, we'll look into it. If you just go see Lieutenant Heston, we'll get your information, and I'll get back.
And we share your concerns. Prison realignment was nothing that we as law enforcement professionals wanted as a result of a 3-judge panel that worked its way up to the Supreme Court and then forced the prison system to look at what they're going to release. And then the California legislature passed AB 109 that reclassified a number of crimes to push it back onto the counties and to help limit what was going into our prison system. But as chiefs of police and sheriffs. We all worked within our organizations like the California Sheriff's Association and the California Chiefs Association to push back onto our legislature, but we have 109 now, and now we're still dealing with its ripple effects that are affecting our community and our counties throughout the state.
Okay.